Hi everybody. Looks like that we are live. Welcome to another session. Stop anxiety, panic attacks, and depression within minutes rather than months, years, or perhaps never. My name is Sonja Kirschner. I'm the founder of A Power Free Coaching, Training, and Mind Freedom. I'm also known as the Mindset Medium, and I'm holding these sessions where we get together to talk about all things anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. I'm an ex-sufferer of anxiety, panic attacks, and depression myself. And I've decided to run these weekly workshops to bring us all together, to provide this safe space where we get together, where I can coach you through any challenges that you might be experiencing. You see, I'm a member of various groups online where I can see that people are truly suffering just the way I used to. But what I'm lacking in these groups, is that somebody takes charge and says, okay, we are suffering, this group, supportive group to help us all in this way. And you know what? I'm going to give you tips, tricks, do whatever it takes to help you to free yourself from emotional suffering. These groups more often than not offer a lot of compassion and a lot of empathy, but don't give us the practical tools and strategies that help us or can help us to free ourselves. And I'm passionately, contributing, but there's only so much I can do when commenting on each an individual's posts. So I made it my mission to provide this space where we get together weekly to talk about anxiety, depression, panic attacks, or also talk about when you are prone to, being a half cup full or half cup, half glass empty person rather than half glass full person, if you know what I'm saying. So within this safe space, I'm offering you the space to talk about and ask me anything to do with feeling chronically low, feeling anything other than great. There's only two ways we can feel. If we sum it up, there's a whole range of emotional on the emotional reference guide, emotional reference scale. But if we group them together, it can be either we're feeling good or we can feel bad. And feeling good can range for anything, starting with hopefulness, optimism, feeling eagerness and passion and enthusiasm and excitement about something, feeling joyful and love, obviously the ultimate highest emotion. And in between those individual positive emotions, we can feel many, many different things too. And sometimes words can't really describe the actual feeling. So the whole range can be so varied. But equally on the flip side, there is negative emotions starting with, being overwhelmed, disappointed, worried, fearful, frustrated, helpless, feeling a sense of grief, worry, apathy, insecurity, guilt, all the way down to depression. Depression being really one of the lowest emotional references when it comes to our emotions. So we can either feel good or bad, summing up who we are and how we feel. So I'm providing this safe space to coach us through and talk about anything which is holding us back from being an authentic, happy, passionate, eager person to embrace life to its fullest. We're focusing on the lowest emotions, the anxiety, depression, panic attacks. But equally, if you find yourself being somebody who keeps struggling, finding yourself more often than you would like to, at the bottom end of the emotional scale, obviously you are at the right place, because that's exactly what we are talking about. So if you're joining in, say hello, tell me where you are coming from, joining in from. I can see also people joining in from Instagram. Zashi, hi, nice to see you here again. So I'm serving different platforms. That's why perhaps you guys on Instagram don't see me always looking at you direct. I'm kind of streaming from different devices, but Hello, everybody. Let me know where you're dialing in from, and let's start a conversation together. This conversation is entirely driven by you, your input. As I say, I'm giving you the space to ask anything that you like, but more importantly, to address your emotional suffering and to give you tools, strategies, and techniques that free you from emotional suffering really fast. Just the way I freed myself in my late teens, early 20s, when I've gone for a period of feeling depressed, anxious, and experienced multiple panic attacks day and night. And it was a horrific experience. Hi, Zashi. Nice to see you. I can see that you're dialing in from Pakistan. So thanks for joining. Thanks for joining again. Yes, I remember you from the last time. So if you have any other questions, feel free to bring them up. But what I'm, again, for people as they're joining in, just to recap, a safe space. This is a safe space, a workshop, because we are working together, right? We are working together to free ourselves from emotional suffering, from anything which is holding us back from feeling confident, empowered, good about ourselves, to go after the things that truly matter in our life, to feel confident and to believe that the things are possible, and to have a sense of security and safety and knowing that we can really achieve whatever we put our mind to. We're talking here specifically about anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. I'm giving you a whole story in my 3-step blueprint to stop anxiety and panic attacks, the link to which I've included in the description. So if you want to hear my story, how I used to suffer on the anxiety, panic attacks, and depression side in my late teens and early 20s, then you can go to that page, stopanxietyblueprint.com, and listen to my story. I've recorded a video. You can also get access to the 3-step blueprint to stop anxiety and panic attacks. It's really my blueprint where I guide you, coach you through one-on-one for freeing yourself emotionally from anything which is weighing you down, anything which is causing you anxiety, panic attacks, and depression, no matter how long you have been suffering in this way, whether it's for months, for years, or even decades. These are the 3 steps, and I'm talking about these 3 steps all here, which will free you. Full stop. They freed me. It took me a long time to figure it out, to find out what it was and how I could free myself, to find out what it was that was holding me back and how I could free myself. And I've identified it to be the 3 steps I'm talking about in my 3-step blueprint to stop anxiety and panic attacks. And these workshops are held within the framework of that 3-step blueprint, which essentially, when you take it seriously, when you have had enough pain that you make a decision that you want to leave this emotional suffering behind, and you recognize that it's not going to stop itself, that you essentially need to take charge of how you feel, and nobody else is going to do it for you. And you are committed to change. Get yourself a copy of the 3-step blueprint to stop anxiety and panic attacks. You've got a great possibility to start the new year 2021 by knowing that you've got something really solid, a solid structure in your hands. So, Sasha, not sure what you mean by the question. Will you change your topic or will it be continued? But so maybe you want to elaborate on that, Sasha, so that I understand what you mean. So if you are anybody watching this and thinking, what can I do to free myself, to feel that I'm more in control of how I feel day in and day out, and may not be a sufferer of anxiety, panic attacks, or depression. Again, you may be somebody prone to being negative, and you recognize that these negative emotions and these negative thoughts are essentially holding you back. You recognize that your mindset is not serving you. Well, you've arrived at the right place, because you're talking to me. I'm the mindset medium, and I'm holding these sessions, giving you the space to ask me anything. I essentially coach you through whatever challenges you are experiencing right now. So today I want to introduce you to a tool, because these workshops are all about getting you empowered, introducing you to tools and techniques that help you, that have the potential to shift you out of any kind of negative emotion really fast. Be it anxiety, be it depression, be it panic attacks, being overwhelmed, anger, if you have a tendency on worrying, if you have a tendency on being jealous or feeling insecure or helpless. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Hello, Arsham. Nice to see you here on Instagram. So I want to introduce you to a new. Apologies. I want to introduce you to a new tool. And this new tool is called Emotional Freedom Technique. And before I jump into that, I really want to also recap the 3 main steps that you can do and really have to take in order to free yourself emotionally. And, these steps are really patterns, triggers, because they're patterns of how we use our body, our mindset, our physiology. And these patterns are either serving us or they're not serving us. And we have to be mindful of that. So if you feel like a victim of depression, for instance, if you feel that you are anxious, helpless, and as a result, it has a knock-on effect on how you feel, and you, as a result, don't feel confident to take the action that is required for you to make progress. It's down to these 3 patterns, and it's all about changing these 3 patterns. So pattern number 1 is the physiology, the way you use your body, right? The way you use your body. So if you are somebody who is prone to depression or prone to being negative or worrying, my guess would be that you are not using your body in an empowering way, that you don't have a routine around exercise where you every day do some sort of physical activity to make you feel strong and alive. Physiology and exercise are so incredibly important for us to feel physically strong. But when we do feel this physical strength, it has a knock-on effect, a positive knock-on effect, so to speak, on how we feel emotionally and on our mindset and the risks and actions we are willing to take and consider. You see, depressed people, we all know how they use their body, right? If I gave you a gift and said to you, well, if you answer these questions right, you will get it. How does a depressed person use her or his body? You would probably give me the right answers. Because how do you know? Because you have seen people like that. You have perhaps been depressed yourself. So when you're depressed that we are not much. We are not up to much. Our bodies gravitate towards the earth. We feel really low, and our tone of voice is really slow, and we look down and we breathe shallow, and we're lacking a sort of life force, right? As opposed to somebody who's really confident and enthusiastic and eager, their body language is completely different. They talk with their hands, they breathe, deep, and they use their voice in incredible ways, and their eyes are wide open and they tend to look up. So physiology is pattern number 1. We have to change on a consistent basis. And once we train ourselves to do this fast and consistently, we can really shift ourselves of any kind of negative emotion really fast within minutes. So these 3 patterns I'm talking about, changing just one pattern itself has the potential, has the power to shift yourself out of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, worry, stress, anxiety, helplessness within minutes. But if you change these 3 patterns I'm talking about simultaneously, if you so to speak teach yourself, if you develop this habit of using these 3 patterns at the same time simultaneously, you literally become unstoppable. So what is pattern number 2? Pattern number 2 is the focus, is your focus and what you Because you focus essentially on what you believe in. So your mindset, so to speak. You see, what you focus on, this is where energy flows to. So you can either focus on the things that are working out for you, or you can focus on the things that are not working out for you, right? Because what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. But we are trained, we've been trained by society really to always focus on what's wrong, because our brain is essentially always looking for answers, for solutions. Yeah, so the more solutions we find to problems, to difficult situations, the more we are, so to speak, rewarded by society. But it's also to do with our brain. It's a 2 million-year-old brain which has the primary job to keep us safe from danger. So it's not, its primary job is not to protect us, it's not to make us happy. Its primary job is to protect us and to keep us safe from danger. So it's naturally going to always focus on what's not working out. In the olden days, when we were chased by tigers and lions, this approach was really helpful. The amygdala, the fight or flight center in our brain, is always vigilantly looking out for danger. In this day and age, we are no longer chased by wild animals, right? But this danger comes in form of emotional danger, such as the danger of losing one's job, the danger of financial insecurity, the danger of stress, the danger of, broken relationships, our fear of losing, the people who matter to us, our fear of being a failure, our fear of not recovering from failure, whatever it is. So our brain is always looking out for danger, and in this day and age, it's coming in form of it's coming in form of emotional danger. So our brain is naturally focusing on what's wrong, and it's our job to make it focus on what's working out for us, so on the things that are right. You see, you are the thinker of your thoughts. You are the creator of your thoughts. And what you think of, you create, right? The moment the moment you recognize it, you're taking back your power. But most people are just letting their brain to run the show, essentially. They don't recognize the power. They don't recognize the power they have. I need to find a different solution for this iPhone Instagram holder. So apologies for that for the people on Instagram who are experiencing this hiccup in form of broken video. Just find a better solution for you. Thanks everybody for hanging in there. Thanks everybody for hanging in there. So, meanwhile, if you have any questions, just send them my way. But thanks everybody. It should be all good now. Can you guys on Instagram see me well? Is it all good for you? I hope you are fine and that we won't be interrupted again. So you guys on Instagram, you should see me. You should see me now fine, and we shouldn't have any further interruptions in that way. So we're talking about the focus, the power of your focus, the power of your focus and what you believe in, right? Our beliefs essentially govern our direction in life. Our decisions we make, the decisions that determine our destiny, so to speak, are governed by what we believe about ourselves, about the world to be true. So we have to be really mindful of our beliefs, of our focus, and we have to take stock of whether our focus and our beliefs are actually serving us. If we recognize that they are not, because we are feeling anxious, because we are feeling depressed, because we are feeling low, and we are having panic attacks, or we are chronically low, then we know that that we're not focusing the right way, and that our beliefs are disempowering us rather than empowering us the way it should be. You know, our body is always trying to communicate with us. It gives us action signals, so to speak. And it's up to us to listen to our body. And if we don't listen, and most people choose not to listen, most people distract themselves with, alcohol, too much food, cigarettes, video games, too much TV, right? But our body is always trying to communicate to us with our feelings. So if we're feeling not right, our body is trying to make us change something. It's essentially giving us action signals. Our feelings, whether they are good or bad, they are action signals. But really, we need to listen. We need to appreciate what's good, and we need to start appreciating the good feelings within us. But more importantly, we need to start paying attention to the negative feelings within us and trying to understand where do they come from, rather than looking at them as enemies. They are part of us, and our body is trying to communicate to us. If it makes sense. So there was the pattern number 2, focus and beliefs. And pattern number 3, words, incredibly powerful. The words we use and the meaning we assign to the words that we use to talk to ourselves. We all have an internal dialogue going on. So what kind of words do we use? What sentences, what phrases do we use to talk to ourselves? Are you saying to yourself on a consistent basis, I'm a loser? Or do you catch yourself saying, I'm great, I can do anything? Do you catch yourself saying, I'm not worthy of success? Or is the message, I can achieve anything that I want and deserve all the success that I want and desire? So what is the message? You see, most people who are anxious, depressed, and really low on the emotional guidance scale, they have a self-talk which is not very pretty. It's very disempowering. The messages, the language, and the words and the phrases, sometimes really shocking. It's this kind of words we wouldn't be using with our best friends, completely disempowering. For instance, I'm not worthy of feeling better. I'm a complete failure. I'm a victim of this horrible disease. I didn't deserve anything better. And that's whatever negativity, whatever the negative words are that you might be saying to yourself, it's not true, right? It's not true. The moment you catch yourself saying to yourself something which is triggering an emotion within you that feels anything other than great, is not good. It doesn't serve you, and it's not true. So really, the words and the meaning we attach to these words, especially when other people talk to us and say something we don't quite agree with, what kind of meaning do we attach to what they say? It's again based on what we focus on, what we believe in. So if we catch ourselves being negative, if somebody says to us, something along the lines, you haven't done a really good job with this project, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy, or it doesn't mean necessarily that you will be fired. It doesn't mean that you will be managed out of the organization. It just means that they think that you probably didn't deliver the best project. So it's up to you to go and ask, well, what is it that you mean with this? You never know what other people are going through in that particular moment when they say something. You never know what kind of day they had. You never know what they are struggling with. And I automatically assume a meaning about something they say, which is disempowering us. it's a negative double-edged sword, so to speak. We are not only allowing that person to just continue spreading their negativity, where we potentially could step in and help by just asking what they mean and making them look at their behavior and the consequences it has on other people from a different perspective, but we're also using it against us. So it's really up to us to take charge. So the 3 patterns again is the physiology, the focus, and the beliefs, what you focus on and what you believe about yourself, and the words and the meaning we assign to things. I want to give you an example and then I'll answer some questions. So if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the comment box. Take the London Olympics. The London Olympics, and this pretty much happens at all the Olympic Games. But I remember the London Olympics very specifically because a reporter was interviewing the athletes who are about to perform in front of the home crowd. And from the reporter's perspective, oh my God, he would have been really nervous. So he kind of quite literally phrased the question, you must be really nervous performing in front of your home crowd. And every single athlete, quite literally every single athlete said, no, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. I'm not nervous, I'm excited. I'm not nervous, I'm excited. So why do I bring this up? Let me ask you a question. What are your physical symptoms when you are starting to feel nervous about something? Your palms are sweating, right? You start breathing faster. Your heart rate increases. You perhaps have a funny sensation in your stomach. Now, if you focus on these sensations, on these symptoms, and keep telling yourself, oh my God, I'm nervous. And if you are somebody who is suffering by anxiety, panic attacks, or depression, you focus on this or you interpret these as the onset of a panic attack, they will naturally escalate into something much stronger. But if you catch those feelings and start focusing on something completely different, then the whole game changes. And you really have to catch the Godzilla, so to speak, while it's still a baby, rather than allowing it to grow into a monster that goes and destroys everything. Why do I say that? Because how do you feel when you're nervous? What happens? We've just identified what it was. And how do you feel when you are excited? Your palms start sweating, your breath speed increases, right? Your heart rate increases, you've got a funny sensation, butterflies in your stomach when you're really excited, right? So you can see your physical response to being nervous and being excited is the same. The onset of nervousness and excitement are the same physically. It's up to us what we tell ourselves through the sheer power of our mindset, what we tell our body, what we are experiencing, that we will indeed experience in its full-blown capacity, whether it's nervousness or whether it's excitement. So these athletes at the London Olympic, they were focusing on how excited they were. They were focusing on how excited they were. And rather than, completely disempowering them, they were getting themselves emotionally and physically ready for the competition from a completely different perspective, as if they had focused on how nervous they were, right? Because if we focus on what's not working out, we are disempowering ourselves. We don't, we are allowing our energy, our life force to drain us. We are allowing our life force to drain us. So that is very important. So Zeshi, I can see your comment. This time I usually play video games, but not today because I'm watching you live. Great, thanks. So you are doing something. You are doing something to empower yourself here. You recognize that the video games are probably not not a permanent solution to taking charge of who you want to become, and you are taking the time to learn about new techniques, you're taking a little time to learn about new strategies so that you can indeed empower yourself from that perspective, that you know how to, change your physiology, change your focus and your beliefs, your words and the meanings, all these things, how incredibly important they are, so that you can change your entire life, starting with watching less video games and starting to take life into your own hands. So thanks for the comment, and I'm really pleased that you are here. Sashi, you are also saying that you have only one permanent viewer. So do you want to elaborate on this? I'm not sure what it means. I can see obviously many people joining in. I can also see the number of viewers in the top right corner. So do you have any suggestions regarding this? So is there a reason why you are mentioning this? Am I missing something? Is there something I should know? Is there something I can learn? Let me know, Zashi. That would be great. It would be great. I'm also streaming this on other platforms, but you are obviously on Instagram. That's why I'm streaming multiple platforms from different devices. So, Zashi, if you have any suggestions, put it in the comment box. It would be great to hear from you. So there are the three things: physiology, focus, belief, words, meaning. That we have to take charge of. Sashi, you are saying I'm the one who's watching a live stream. Okay, so do I understand this correctly? The other people who are joining in, they are dropping out, hence there aren't many viewers. Is that the case on Instagram? Okay, so I talk about these 3 steps in my 3-step blueprint to stop anxiety and panic attacks, the link to which is in the description in case anybody has missed it. So today I really want to also speak about this additional tool which has the power to essentially shift us out of anxiety, panic attacks, depression, any kind of negative emotion, and also physical pain really fast. Emotional freedom technique, EFT, also known as tapping, is a tool that has helped thousands of people worldwide to free themselves from any kind of emotional pain, but also physical pain, chronic physical pain where traditional medicine hasn't been able to help. Emotional freedom technique, it's based on the premise of, it's based on 2 worlds really. World number 1 is the ancient Chinese acupressure. So acupressure, it's similar to acupuncture, but we are not using any needles. Essentially, we are applying pressure to certain meridian points on our body, and I will be taking you through those meridian points in a moment. So we are applying pressure with our fingertips on certain meridian points on our body. The side of our hand, also known as the karate chop point, being one. And by doing so, by applying the pressure, and this is the world number 2, by using a specific language to communicate to our conscious but also subconscious mind and address the issues that are causing our emotional or physical pain. So by bringing the 2 worlds together, we can heal quite literally within minutes. And this technique has helped many people, thousands of people across the globe, to heal themselves, really fast. Whether it's giving up smoking, whether it's building better relationships, whether it's getting rid of this chronic neck ache or back ache, whatever it is, you can free yourself. And also, and more importantly, so we're talking here about really strong negative emotions such as depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. you can, with EFT, emotional freedom technique, free yourself really, really fast. So today, in this session, in this workshop on how to stop anxiety, panic attacks, and depression, it's all about showing you guys another tool in your pocket. And I've been, when the first lockdown hit the UK, I've done daily workshops, with live workshops with people similar to this, where we've been tapping quite literally every day for 3 months to find relief to emotional suffering, which the pandemic has heightened in many of us. Many suffer of anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. And it was really, really successful and great. So EFT is a great tool. If you haven't heard about it, go and do some more research. So I've told you it's about bringing two worlds together, the world of the ancient Chinese acupressure by applying pressure with your fingertips on certain meridian points of your body. And bringing the world of the modern psychology, where you address what is causing you emotional or physical pain, and bringing the worlds together frees you really fast. I think, you have to really experience it yourself to experience the relief. But this is exactly what I want to show you now. So anybody who is live on here and wants to take advantage of the fact that they can find relief really fast, and I can design this tapping session, and we are about to embark together around you. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and I will address your specific issue. So through tapping and through combining the two worlds, applying the pressure and bring the emotional, the emotional world together with the modern psychology world together, we are finding relief really fast. And this is how it works. There is 8 tapping points we'll be tapping on, right? And we're starting off on the karate chop point, also the side of your hand, and we're using to tap. Well, you can use 2 or 3 or 4 fingers. It doesn't really matter. We're tapping quite firmly and a few times on each meridian point. Okay, so this is where we'll be starting off with a setup statement. You don't need to worry about what the setup statement is at this stage. I will be guiding you through the process, but obviously with the intention that you learn how to do this so that you can apply it in your own time and use the words and the language to specifically address what is going on for you, because this is the only way how to heal yourself truly and address those things which are specific to you. Next up, the first, so to speak, tapping point on your face is here, the beginning of the eyebrows, followed by on the side of the eye, then underneath the eye, and you can tap on one side or the other, or you can tap on both sides. As you can see, I prefer tapping on both sides. Then underneath the nose. We're tapping on the chin. It's not quite the chin, it's this crack below the lip. Next up, the collarbone, followed by underneath the armpit. It's roughly for women where the brow line sits. And the final tapping point is on the top of the head. May look like, makes us look a little bit like monkeys, but there you go. It's really effective. It closes the tapping cycle off. So these are the 8 tapping points we will be tapping on. We're applying pressure to the meridian points. So the meridian points are really the energy centers in our body. We've got meridian lines within our body. It's really the energy network, and the meridian points is where the energy lines, the meridian lines kind of meet, and it's the energy center. And tapping suggests, in the world of the ancient Chinese world, acupressure essentially suggests that if we experience emotional pain, if we experience physical pain, there are so kind of energetic blockages on those meridian points. And by us applying pressure through tapping, we're releasing those blockages. And by addressing what is going on, by addressing the blockages with our language, with the words that we choose, we are essentially healing whatever is causing the emotional pain or physical pain really fast. So, Sashi, you're saying what's generalized anxiety disorder? Anxiety disorder, somebody who feels constantly anxious about everything, somebody who has the habit of focusing on things which are not working out, somebody who has essentially trained their mind to, and has given in because our mind is doing this naturally. Remember what I said, it's our mind is always focusing on what's not working out in an effort to keep us safe, to protect us from danger. And it's our job to make us happy by focusing on the things that are working out. But somebody who is constantly anxious and has an anxiety disorder, it means that the proportion is out of order, so to speak. Somebody who is focusing on the things that are making him or her feel anxious all the time. The moment they wake up, they start focusing on things that are not working out. Somebody who is suffering with depression or suffers with anxiety, panic attacks, at the onset of any kind of not feeling well, and any kind of emotion or symptom in your body, immediately the mindset is there to say, oh my God, I'm about to experience something I don't want to, I'm afraid of. But also in general life, people generally focusing on things that are making them anxious. So using the mindset and the brain power really to the disadvantage. I hope it answers your question. But it can be healed. It doesn't require medication because, let's face it, many people are taking antidepressants, are still depressed. I know for myself that that was certainly the case for me. When I was suffering in my late teens and early 20s, I was taking antidepressants, which made me feel initially better. But they didn't change, they didn't heal me. They didn't heal those emotions that my body was telling me to address. My body essentially was communicating with me, to me, that something had to change. Yeah? Yeah. You're also saying, sometimes I feel pain in my eyes. What's the reason? Step number one, as I always say, make sure you get yourself checked out by a medical professional as a step number one, just to eliminate any symptoms that may not be caused by anxiety, panic attacks, or depression, that may not be caused by your mindset. And once you have, so to speak, a green light from the doctor to say that you are physically fine, then we can start talking about the mindset. I always say that you make sure that you are fine and healthy. Involve a medical professional. So I want to take us through a tapping round. And I will use as an example, as I mentioned, we used to run these, well, I used to run these with many people across the world, and thousands of people have joined in. When the pandemic hit for the first time, for 3 months in a row, I was doing these daily live sessions for EFT, emotional freedom technique, for stress and anxiety relief. So to offer people relief with the heightened levels of stress, anxiety, and panic attacks that the depression caused about amongst many of us. And I will use as an example, the kind of real hands-on feelings people have brought up and were struggling with, just to demonstrate how this works. But essentially, we're starting out with a setup statement. on this side of our hand right here on the karate chop joint. And really all you have to do right now for the purpose of this demonstration, just step along, just repeat after me, just, do what I do with the tapping points. And if you feel similarly affected by anxiety, panic attacks, depression, then you will feel relief. Now, of course, it's most effective when you use your own language and when we address for you specifically what is going on by using your own words. But you can do that by all means in your own time by learning this technique right now. Okay? Okay, so we're starting out on the side of our hand. Just repeat after me. Even though I feel all this anxiety, all this tension, and all this stress in my body, I choose to let them go right now. And remember to breathe deeply. Breathe in through the blockages that are causing all this emotional and physical pain. And again, even though I'm experiencing all this anxiety, all this tension and panic in my body, I'm choosing to let them go right now. And once again, even though I'm experiencing all this tension, all this anxiety, all this panic in my body, I am choosing to let them go right now. And we're continuing to tap on the beginning of the eyebrows here. Just repeat after me. Just be mindful that I'm also using language sometimes which might come as a surprise to you, but just relax and go with the flow and enjoy it. All this tension, all this anxiety, all this pressure, all this stress in my body, it's been holding me back for such a long time. It's weighing me down. Underneath the armpit, it feels as though the entire weight of the world is sitting on my shoulders. Top of the head, all this tension, all this stress, all this anxiety are weighing me down. Beginning of the eyebrows. It's so difficult to live with all this tension, all this anxiety. Side of the eyes. I've been so hard on myself. Underneath the eyes. I don't want to feel like this. Underneath the nose. I really thought that I could do this. Chin. But not much has changed for me. Collarbone. All this tension, stress and anxiety. I don't want to feel them in my body. Underneath the armpit. Yet they persist and prevail. Top of the head. And the more I want to let them go. Beginning of the eyebrows. It seems that the heavier they are. Side of the eyes. All this tension, all this stress, all this anxiety. Underneath the eyes. I want to let them go right now. underneath the nose, even if it's just for this moment. Chin. I want to let it all go right now. Collarbone. Everything that is weighing me down, I'm choosing to let it go right now. Underneath the armpit. I can see in my mind's eye how this heavy dark cloud is lifting. Top of the head. I can feel how finally some sun rays are able to come through to me. Beginning of the eyebrows, and I am welcoming these sun rays. Side of the eye, and the warmth and security that they provide. Underneath the nose, I'm welcoming them with open arms. Underneath the nose, right now, I am choosing to relax. Chin. Right now, I'm giving myself the permission to feel good. Collarbone, I recognize that I've been so hard on myself. Underneath the armpit, and I forgive myself for being so hard on myself. Top of the head, in this very moment I remember how much I love myself. Beginning of the eyebrows. And it feels good to remember. Side of the eyes, it feels good to remember my true strength, my true love. Underneath the eyes. Right now all is clear. Underneath the nose. Right now I feel good. Chin. Right now I can see clearly. Right now all is well. Underneath the armpit. Right now I am well. Top of the head. And I'm taking in a deep breath of wellness, gratitude, and appreciation of what's working out. As I breathe, I'm breathing in joy. Side of the eye. As I breathe, I'm breathing in happiness. Underneath the eyes. As I breathe, I'm breathing in love. Underneath the nose. As I breathe, I'm breathing in healing love. Chin. And as I breathe, I'm breathing out everything and anything that isn't serving me. Collarbone. As I breathe, I'm breathing out anything or everything that has not been serving me. Underneath the armpit, right now, all is well. Top of the head, right now I feel good. Beginning of the eyebrows, and I'm proud of myself for taking the time to heal myself. Side of the eyes. I'm proud of myself of learning. Underneath the eyes, I'm proud of myself, of wanting to get better. Underneath the nose, I am well. Chin, all is well. Collarbone. In this very moment, I feel love, light, happiness, joy, excitement floating through my body. Underneath the armpit. And as I'm taking in another deep breath, I'm breathing in everything and anything that is good for me. Top of the head. And I'm ready and open to embrace whatever comes my way. For I know that I've got a healing tool in my pocket, a tool I can conquer anything with. I am well. All is well. Now and always. And so it is. You can stop tapping now. I want you to take in a deep breath through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. And as you do, just let me know how you feel. How have these few minutes of tapping changed how you feel? How have they changed how you experience, if there is any leftovers of your emotional suffering? How have they changed the physical pain? Let me know. What has changed for you? How do you feel? Just pop in your comment box what you have experienced while we were tapping. And the incredibly beautiful thing about tapping is that now you know how to apply it. You know the theory behind it and why it helps so many people. By all means, go and do your own research on Google. Search for emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, and see how many hundreds of thousands of people tapping has helped across the world. But now you know how to apply it, how to use it. I encourage you to take it with you into the day, every day, and tap on anything and everything that is holding you back. In fact, starting your day with a tool like this, starting your day developing a daily practice around this, starting your day by empowering yourself in this incredible way. Imagine what would change if you had a routine, if you tapped. I mean, here's a challenge for you. Tap for every day, every morning, preferably in the morning for at least the next 30 consecutive days, and see what changes, see what will shift. You will quite literally break through any blockages. You'll experience miracles. You can tap on emotional pain, anything that is holding you back, or physical pain. You see, these things are holding us back from believing in our true power, into our true potential. But once we are able to free ourselves from any kind of suffering, emotional or physical, we can then free ourselves up. We are quite literally freeing ourselves up, freeing our mental capacity up, our energy up for focusing on the things that truly matter, focusing on the things we want to achieve for ourselves, but more importantly, focusing on the person we want to become. So I encourage you to take this EFT tapping practice with you into the day. I hope you have found it useful. I know you have found relief fast. And please do share this message with other people who are suffering in any kind of way, emotionally or physically, because there's a lot of research that backs up what I've just shown you, emotional freedom technique. And it can heal many people. It can empower many people. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with you, because I know that if you share it with your network and they share it with theirs, we can help free people, so many people, from emotional pain, emotional or physical pain. So thank you, everybody, for joining in again for another live workshop on how to stop anxiety, panic attacks, and depression, but really anything that is holding you back from being who you absolutely can be, from becoming the person that would make anything and everything possible for yourself. It was our final session for this year, 2020, today. So next time we see each other in the new year, 2021. Until then, I wish you all the health, happiness, success, prosperity, whatever they mean for you for the new year. Take the difficult learnings from 2020 and do something great with them. I'm a firm believer that life is happening always for us, not to us. And that from every difficult situation, like the past year and the pandemic, we can all learn so much. But again, making sure that we take this learning and do something great with it, rather than focus on where things went wrong. Start using the incredible power, this incredible, computer programming, incredible energy in between your ears, and start using it for your own advantage. Yeah? Start using it for our own advantage. So here's to great 2021. Thanks everybody who has been showing up to these sessions in 2020, who has been showing up really for yourselves to free yourself from any kind of emotional suffering, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, worry, blame, disencouragement, anger, jealousy, grief, depression, any kind of negative emotions. So if you have been suffering in this way and you've been joining these sessions, really well done, because you have shown real commitment to change. You've decided that enough is enough. So well done for everybody who has been joining these sessions in 2020. And here's to a great 2021. I wish you all a great few days until we reach finally the new year. But until then, until we see each other again in the new year, live with enthusiasm about what's to come, and believe that whatever is happening, life is always happening for us and not to us. Look at the world from a perspective of excitement and appreciation. Excitement what's to come, and appreciation what is, and your life will change. Trade your expectation of yourself and others for appreciation, and again, your life will change. And if we embark the new year from this perspective, it can quite literally become unstoppable. So thanks everybody for joining in. You have a good night and look after yourselves. Bye for now.